on any minute. And tonight is health and healing. Welcome, Carol. Welcome, Paige. Nice to see you guys. Woohoo. And I think Tanya had to drive home. I hope she didn't get in traffic, but she'll probably be coming in any minute. So tonight, I'm going to start and end with a song that Tyler, Rapid Eye Tech, wrote about health, specifically for the principle of health and healing. So I want to hear it and then we'll talk about it.
Nature follows laws, firm consistency. Though its expressions often show up as unique, would I ever undo what was meant to be? I wonder by design, whole and complete. The care of my body is upon me, a gift to the world, not bound by anything. Beginning with love, not ending with need. I'll take good care of what is whole and complete. I wanna thrive, not just be alive, and love all the things that make only me. And I'll make the best of what was made, and I'll treat the best as though it needed to change. Regeneration is only part of the feat. Fasting full circle with stem cells in reach. I guide myself on a chosen journey where at any point I am whole and complete. I wanna thrive, not just be alive, and love all the things that make only me. And I'll make the best of what was made, and I'll treat the best as though it needed to change. Whether from God or source or nature's family, I am whole and complete as creation made me. I'm standing up today for my well-being, holding all of my health and healing. Whether from God or source or nature's family, I am whole and complete as creation made me. I'm standing up today for my well-being, holding all of my health and healing. Whether from God or source or nature's family, I am whole and complete as creation made me. I'm taking charge of wellness, beginning with me, holding all of my health and healing. Holding all of my health and healing.
Oh, gotta love it. That was awesome. Can you see people clapping? Woohoo! That was so good. Was that fun to create?
Just unmute yourself if you want to talk now.
Yes, really fun.
Oh, beautiful. I can't wait. We're going to have a cool song for every one of the principals. Thank you for your creative talents. I
You're welcome.
love it. I really love it. And you know, I'm not a bowl person. It's really good. It's really good. So thank you for using your talents for and in behalf of Rapid Eye. I
Appreciate
love
it.
it.
That
Yeah.
was amazing. That was
Yeah.
very amazing.
Okay. So tonight, as you saw in our wonderful new song, health and healing. And the health part, we usually think of the physical body. The healing, we think that could be physical body, but sometimes we tend to think of that as emotional. But health and healing is about physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. We've talked quite a bit over the whole cycle of health and healing about things you can do physically to keep yourself well. And I just am a real basics about this. Make sure you drink enough water. You take your body weight, you divide it in half, and add the word ounces after it. And that's how many ounces you need to drink every day if you're well. If you have something going on or you feel unwell, you need more water. I like Celtic salt. It helps get the minerals in that you need. And every day, if you can, pick something you do every day. Maybe it's get a drink of water, or maybe it's, I don't know, go pee, whatever it is, and do 50 deep breaths. You don't have to do them all at one time, but every day you want a conscious breathing. Conscious breathing. Every time you breathe deep and you let it go, inside your body it goes, oh, good. Everything must be okay because he's breathing or she's breathing. Okay. And your body gets reassured when you breathe deep, because a fear response is often accompanied with a catching the breath, a holding the breath. So be aware of that and breathe even deeper. If you catch yourself, stop when you stop breathing. So also on the emotional level, of course, we have Rapid Eye. And how many of you know an emotional thing that you would like to bring new energy to? It might be, of course, I have Family Matrix on the brain right now because we're doing the class. And today we realigned some really fabulous issues. Okay. So Marion's here with me on this camera there and wave. So today in the morning, we realigned. Do you remember?
Depression, suicide, intentional, like helplessness, and hopeless came up with it also.
That was this afternoon, right?
Oh,
Nancy's?
yes.
This morning, we also,
Family of origin with Cheryl.
that's right.
Thank
Oh,
you, Tanya.
yeah, gosh, it's only a few hours ago and I'm like, what did we do?
We did
It was it was so awesomely cool though. And with Family Matrix, what you do, and it's a lot about health and healing, because one of the things that seems to be breaking down is the connections within our own family. And there's many, you've all heard this saying before, but if you can't stop the war in you, meaning if you can't stop the addiction within you, if you can't stop the rage and anger, if you can't stop the criticism, whatever the pattern is, then it's really more difficult to translate that into the world. So the war in me is a reflection of what's the war in the world and vice versa. We're all connected. So when we did the Family Matrix work, it's kind of cool. If you've never seen one, I hope you get to experience that soon. but we are training at least 3 people from Utah, right?
Oh, yes.
So you'll probably be getting some news about Family Matrix being offered in your area. Please do it. But let me describe just briefly, okay? In the middle is the whole world, and the chairs are all in a circle. And that space is the person who's having the matrix. That's their world. And it's called constellation work also for a reason. So if you look up in the sky, it's very organized and ordered. You know, as long as there's not clouds, you can see the Big Dipper every night. Okay, it's always there and has been for quite a while. I don't know exactly how long, but quite a while. And did you guys see the movie Bruce Almighty? Do you remember that movie? Okay, if you do, well, what he does in there is he's trying to romance his girlfriend, and he has the powers of God because God took a vacation, and Bruce was so critical of God that God said, okay, you do it for a while. See how you like it. And he lassos the moon and he pulls it closer to the earth in this romantic moment with his girlfriend, right? Or his wife, whatever it is, I don't even remember. Anyway, what happens is catastrophic. Tsunamis and tidal waves, because when you brought the moon closer, it changed. It really messed up the hierarchy in the constellations and how it affects our planet. And you think about that now, relate that to our families. Okay, when kids start acting like the parents, and the parents start acting like the kids. Okay,
Um,
and any actual, even a mom having low self-esteem can really teach some patterns that are unhealthy in the family, or a dad who rages. Okay, there it goes on and on. We all have different issues in our family, but the big ones like addictions and mental health and other things. And if you've ever been through a mental health episode yourself or with your loved one, it's intense, and it's really serious. It affects the whole family. Okay, addictions, as you know, affect the whole family. um, Breaking the law, anything that you do that causes anything to come into the circumstance that affect the family. And so when you take these issues that don't work and you say, okay, let's rearrange the hierarchy of the family. It's had this pattern for many, many years. Okay, and you do that with, and it's kind of cool because you set up proxies. So the first matrix is usually yourself and your mom and your dad. And you pick 3 people. So if it's your matrix, you go up to one and you ask them, will you be me? And they say yes and stand up. Okay. And then you go to the next one, will you be my father? If you're a man, you do the father first. If it's a woman, you do the mother first. And you have 3 people acting as proxies. And then you go put your hands behind them and you give them the proxy. You pass permission by saying, you are me. And then you begin to walk that person in your world. And where are you in your world? Okay. And you pick what direction you want them to face and where they stand. And then you go back to your mom if you're female and your dad if you're male. And you put your hands on their shoulders and you say, you are my father. And you begin to walk. And you walk that person to where your father is in your world. Okay. And if he's deceased, dead, then they go where you want them to be and they lay down. Okay. Then you do the other parent and you place them. And then I always, as a facilitator, tell everyone to imagine if you rose up and you could look down on where the 3 people are, what shape is being formed? What is it like? Okay. And obviously, if they took their dad clear to the edge of the world, their world there, and they're facing outward, not even looking in at the family, that pretty much tells you where dad is in the family, right? And if they place, mom in the center and not themselves, because it's your world. You need to be the center of your world. And if mom is the center of your world, you can get some things like codependency, dysfunctional patterns going. And where are you? If you're not in the center of of your own, constellation, your own matrix, then where are you? And we talk about that. And then how you get the releasing going is you have a set of dialogue that you do with each person. Okay, where the parents get to tell the children, you are my little one, I am the big one. Your only job is to be loved and supported. What's between your dad and I is none of your business. You are to be supported, and it's not your fault. Because many kids take, if there's a divorce or there's trouble, they take it on. So you reset that, and then you get the parents to dialogue to each other and say, hey, our child desires to get rid of this fighting and this, whatever the issue is in our family. And because we love our child, we're going to work together to help get rid of that pattern. And then you go both parents to the child and they talk together and you reset. You let the child say how they felt and you let the parents talk. Okay? And after that dialogue, I don't know what happens, but it brings in some kind of understanding and some kind of that. And that's cool. And when you're ready, sometimes there needs to be an apology. Big issues like sexual abuse. Okay? Sometimes the person, dad needs to get down on his knees and say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. So that's just a few examples of dialogue. There's many to work through the different issues that are in families. And then you stand up and the child I always say, go to the middle of your matrix. It's your world, and pick a direction that looks the brightest, because that's your future. And when they've got that, then I place the parents in strategic places where they can help the child. For example, I put the mom on the left because girls receive their energy first through their mother. And their dad might be on the right, or it might be somewhere else. But what happens then is you begin to put in supports. And it's so exciting. It's almost magical because you can bring in, wow, you feel like you need protection. We're going to bring in Archangel Michael to support you. And he's going to stand right behind you and be sending you support, and you connect everyone. I might bring in the Holy Spirit. I might, depending on the person's belief system. Okay. We might bring in, we had in the Matrix yesterday, I believe, Albert Einstein, to honor the divine intelligence that needs to come through to assist this family to have some of the tools and skills and desire to change. Sometimes I often use the feminine and masculine aspects of God and put behind that, and you explain what each person that you're bringing in to support them is. And with that, and then you ask them, look into your future. If you knew that you had this kind of support behind you, how would you feel? And it's amazing. And then the proxy sits down and we bring in the actual person that is doing the matrix, because they've been sitting on the sidelines watching, usually going like this. Because the proxies will say things like the parents would say, and they don't even know them. And later, I get phone calls that say, that family matrix we did where my brother hasn't talked to me in 16 years? Well, after the matrix, he called me. Those are the kind of results and miracles that can happen with family matrix work. So I'm doing a class right now. We're halfway through of teaching people how to do family matrix realignments, because everybody would like the miracle. They would like to end the dysfunctional and immature patterns that we get in our families. And this is one way to do that. And it's very exciting to experience one. So if you get the chance and you hear there's a family matrix realignment in your energy, in your area, your energy, that's good too. Try to make it. Go experience that. It's pretty amazing. And it brings what we're talking about tonight, which is health and healing, to a more human understanding level. That we want to move, we want our families to move into a space of more love. And I know that when there are strength in the families, first it has to be in the individuals and then in the family unit, and then it can go to our communities we're in, our religions, okay, our groups like Rapid Eye and other things, and then to, your state. And if you're healthy, stop the war inside of you and it reflects out, stops the war in the world. And we have a lot of things going on right now that people aren't very happy about. So we want to, a lot of factions. I know in Utah, you recently had an assassination. That's hard. And that everybody has a right to speak without worrying about being assassinated. That's my belief. We all matter. And everyone in the matrix matters. After you do the original one with your mom and dad, then you go on and you could do sibling realignments. You can realign. I've done them for the Holocaust and the Cherokee Trail of Tears. There's been some really cool things because those events were very painful and they've lasted generations of pain. And so I don't know if you guys all heard about that study they did on Holocaust victims, and they're up to the third and fourth generations. And the same patterns of trauma are showing up in the later generations, even though they themselves did not go through that experience. Don't you think that's kind of amazing? It's like, wow. So realigning that and moving more to a space of wholeness, just like the song we listened to in the beginning. And I will play it again at the end. But it's really a beautiful thing that these principles in Rapid Eye are really important to understand and to give your mind the cognitive repatterning that it needs to move forward in life. So we have people online here that experience the realignments today. So since Miriam's right here, I'm going to pick on her. Come closer. What was your experience and what did you learn today from experiencing a family matrix?
They are empowering. They assist everyone attending to get insight. It really is expanding for every person, whether you're observing, whether you're participating as standing in or representing a family member or an individual that's called in. And everyone in that dedicated space, that sacred space, is receiving back and witnessing. And it is an amazing experience. I have enjoyed the access to family matrix and realignment processes for quite a few years, and I will never pass up an opportunity to go to one. And it's another form of me being accountable about my own family, my own work, and I will utilize the realignment process for my family. And I have in the past. It's been very productive.
So Tanya, you facilitated one today. What do you think and how are you feeling? Because I thought it was fabulous.
I think I'm still processing.
Uh-huh.
But I guess what I got today is I'm more capable than I think. And to trust when something comes into my brain in those situations to say that I'm on the right track. That, I've got to start trusting my gut more. it was amazing to do that today, and to bring new energy to that family issue. And yeah, it was amazing and an honor to be able to do that for somebody I care about, because gotten to know Nancy over the last couple of years, and just it was really cool to do that today.
That's great. And Misty, if you don't mind, I'd like you to share, since you received a family matrix yesterday for in behalf of your family line. If you could share about that, what would you share? Is she there?
Oh, they have to unmute the device.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Oh, thanks. Nancy's got.
I think that's it. Can you
All
hear
right.
us?
Nancy's trying to hook me up.
Oh, there she is.
Okay. Well, I don't exactly know what you want me to share, Lynell.
We're talking about the family matrix that you received yesterday.
No, I know, but is there something specific you wanted me to share, or just share my feelings?
Just share your feelings.
Okay. The first family matrix I had really shook my family tree. So I'm hoping the second one shook it as much as the first one. Just needing respect within my family origin in general.
Yeah.
The stopping of cutting off relationships when you don't get along or respect each other. But then the message really turned more towards me and just the support of my parents, and that I have something I need to accomplish, and only I can do that.
Great message. Thank you for sharing. So, Gail, there you are. You have been picked every matrix to serve as a proxy for somebody's father, somebody's mother, or a person. How does that make you feel that people looked around and said, will you be me? Or will you be my mother? Will you be my father? And you always answered yes. And then you got to feel, I discovered something about you, Gail. You're very empathic, which makes you a great proxy, by the way. So, how do you feel? Is there anything you want to share after doing every matrix we've had so far? You've been involved.
I guess like you really take on that person's emotions. It's not your own. You can feel its difference.
Still sitting. There you are.
There you are.
I thought we lost you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you just can feel the different energy that it's not yours.
Yeah. I don't know why your camera is going in and out like that. If somebody's moving it, could you hold it still? Not move?
Oh, okay.
There we go. Right there. Just stay right there. Okay. What else would you like to share?
I feel like the energy benefits me and my family as well as it does who you're doing it for.
That's the magic of actually attending the class or a matrix anywhere, because no matter what pattern is run, if you would like to make that effective for your family and your family line, I always ask, raise your hand, stand up, raise your hand, because when you do this work, you can also make it effective for your family. So I really wanted to let you guys speak, those of you that have been participating in the class, because these 4 days that we're here, we're doing what I call shaking the family tree. Okay, letting go, moving around of all the things that patterns that get in our families. And it was especially, Nancy, thanks for sharing about your family line and the suicide that has come in and how much that affects the family. And many of us have had a suicide somewhere in our line. I know for me, the most hardest one for me was my cousin Grant, who's exactly my age. And when that happened, it really takes everybody to their heart instantly. It's a really hard thing to go through. And when you realign that today to bring in patterns of being heard, patterns of doing something else. Did you want to share anything, Nancy, about what you experienced today? It's up to you.
I'm just looking forward to having I mean, it's a definite pattern that goes generations in toward my father's line, and I'm seeing it in my cousins and great nieces and nephews. So to have this stop, that's what I'm looking forward to. And I got my empowering because of the the feeling powerless, it just following along the way my mother, I am my mother incarnate, and to be the empowered woman it's my time now to be in. So that's it.
Very good. Very nice. Thank you so much for sharing that. So when you think about your health and healing, there's of course the physical stuff, drinking enough water, okay? Having that's right there, one of the big things you can do, 50 deep breaths, making sure that you eat food that is good for you. All of those things, and they're very basic. You can go more into herbs and supplements and all kinds of stuff, but after talking about now the physical and the emotional, how many think to yourself, on the mental level, how much has mental health affected your family and the patterns that have gone on? And what have you done, if you have experienced that? What has happened? Did you have tools and skills that helped you? Did you want to say something?
Is that like a 0 to 10 scale or what?
Mental health are issues like, ADD, ADHD, personality disorders. Mental health can be, I feel crazy and I don't know why. Some people have a mental episode every year at the same month because they haven't dealt with what happened.
So what I'm asking is, you asked about a scale of it. So is it like
I didn't ask about a scale.
Okay. So yeah, so do we go between a 0 to 10 scale or what?
All I said was, how many of you have experienced a mental health issue yourself or in your family? Has nothing to do with the scale. I didn't say anything like that. So
Okay.
let's move on.
Tawny, this is Margie. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My mother had a nervous breakdown when I was a young child. And my mother would sit in her bed in a bedroom in the dark for a whole year, didn't come out for hardly any reason. And my mother couldn't go to places. And so I felt like I never had a mother. I had my oldest sister whenever I was a dancer and a singer when I was ever in a program, and she would come as my mother because I didn't have a mother that could come. When my mother come into an audience, she'd become a nervous wreck and she had to run out of the room. And so I always prayed that my mother could go places with me. And it wasn't until I was 21 years old, the day I got married, my mother came for the first time to my marriage, and no one else in the family did she come to their marriage. and there was 8 kids, and I was the youngest of 8. And so I experienced that. And my mother, when she finally dropped off going to a medical doctor and went to a naturopath doctor, and the naturopath doctor got her well, got her doing herbs and homeopathics and all kinds of energy work and all this kind of stuff, and got her better. And that was a blessing to me. And so it taught me how important it was for me to take care of my health and my nervous system.
Very good.
That's inspiring as heck.
It's fabulous. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, I need to say one more thing.
Okay.
I was so determined that I was not going to find a husband that had any problems like that in their family. And everybody I dated, I always ask them, do you have a mental problem in your family? Do you, and if you do, I'm not going to date you anymore. It was so funny. But when I married my husband, their family had a mental problem, but they kept it a secret and nobody talked about it. And his grandmother had a nervous breakdown and was in a mental institution. And his mother didn't have a mental breakdown until after I married my husband. And she wanted a whole bunch of kids, and she had a set of twins that miscarried, and it broke her heart. And it would send her into this mental breakdown. Like she was a failure. And so she was drugged by medical doctors and sat in a rocking chair for years and years and years. So I watched this with my mother, and I watched this with his mother. And I was determined I didn't want any of that in my children. And I've been trying to tell them to feed their nerves and take vitamin B and calcium and all these things that feed your nervous system.
That's
so they wouldn't get sick. And I find myself, I struggle sometimes. Like right now, I'm struggling because I just had I told you once I have 11 kids and one died. Now I have 10 kids and my husband passed away. And so I'm alone. And I had this conversation with my son last night, and he told me that none of the kids want to come to see me. And I said, why? What have I done? And he said, because you have so many needs. You need this and you need that, and you need this and you need that. And nobody wants to come to help you because all they do is have to give and give and give and give and give when they come to your house. And it broke my heart. And I've been struggling with that for 24 hours now. So when you start talking about this, I got in the meeting late. I couldn't get the phone to work again, but I got here finally. So I'm grateful for that. But I was listening and I thought this sounded so inspiring. Where do you have something like this in Salt Lake?
Well, there's 3 people in the training here from Utah. I'll be sure they have your number and they let you know when there's a family matrix, okay?
I would love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's move on now to the spiritual level, because the spiritual level is the most powerful level, okay? And it's when we make a change on any level, physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, it filters through to all the other levels. So imagine if you're doing your inner work and you're working on your negative emotions and you're releasing the things and you're changing how you eat and your health. And then you understand that spiritually, work on what you need to feel connected to God or whatever you consider a spiritual connection. For some people, it's nature. For other people, I know I love to worship. I like singing. I like the songs, from church. I like all of that stuff. And it's really important that you define what do you do that brings about that feeling of connection to a spirit, to a creator, to Father, Mother, God, however you think of it, and do more of that spiritually. If you're the type of person that you pray, but you feel like your prayers hit the ceiling and don't go anywhere, then that's your work to do, to connect in. There was a famous psychologist named Maslow, and he made this hierarchy, this chart, a hierarchy of needs. And at the very bottom, of course, you have to have food, water, and shelter, and air. Once you have those, the very next one that you need to feel on the way to happiness and totally self-actualization is you need belonging. I think that's why we have gangs. If you don't have anywhere, a family or anywhere that you feel like accepts you for who you are and you fit in, you're going to get, kids joining gangs. You're going to get things happening because that's how important belonging is. So, what are the communities that you have that feed your soul? Do a mental note in your head. What do I do for myself to help myself move forward in life, to help myself feel like I'm going somewhere? My health and healing is moving forward. So think about that for a minute and make a mental note. Okay? Now close your eyes and imagine that you're on a magic table. And so you're standing on it. It's just a couple feet off the ground. And the legs on this table are magic. Okay? So how much you've taken care of your physical body is one leg. And it begins to grow according to how much that you've taken care of yourself. The other leg behind that one is your emotional growth. How old are you really? Have you matured, or are you stuck in your childhood pain and your issues?
Sun shakes hands with the morning sky.
I don't know what that is, but I'll keep going. Alan, can you mute that?
Sorry.
Okay. All right. So then imagine, sorry, that kind of interrupted the imagery. The next leg represents your mental growth. How much have you expanded your horizons? How much are you healthy in your thinking? Are you functional and mature, or immature and dysfunctional? And the last leg on your magic table represents your spiritual growth. How connected to God are you? How do you feel? So with your eyes closed, imagine that the legs begin to grow now according to where you focused. And here's the important fact. It doesn't matter if your table's flat on the ground or 5 miles high because you're such a spiritual giant or whatever. What matters is how you're in balance. Okay? If 2 of the sides grow and the other 2 don't, you're going to have this feeling in your life like you're hanging on with your fingernails and your toenails all the time, just hanging on. I'm just barely making it. Okay? There isn't a balance in the homeostasis within you of your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. And I'm all with Margie about, you got to find what works for your body that helps you. So glad for natural medicine, and I'm thankful for doctors when we need those. Alan, did you want to share? Time.
So if you're feeling dragged, like things are kind of coming at you so fast and you're having to, but you can't really keep up, is that kind of a part of, you know what I mean? It's like when you have a lot of things to do and deadlines are looming and you're just like, okay, I'm getting more than I can handle. So I'm falling behind on things,
You might have
progress.
you might have a couple legs out of balance in your table, and you need to stop and refocus and figure out what you need. What is it that you need to take away that feeling? It sounds like you're describing overwhelm or stress. Okay. And what do you need? Where do you need to focus? Tanya, did you want to share? Was that the one that would be
No,
fun?
it wasn't me.
Oh, okay. All right. Will you be willing to share when you imagined your table? Were you in balance? How was it?
I still don't feel like I've reached a balance, no. And for me, the spiritual leg is always kind of difficult because I have to separate what I was taught was spiritual and what really is. So I'm still in the sorting process on that one in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And
Figuring it out, especially if
Yeah.
you've had religious abuse. You know, sometimes abuse comes from places we aren't expecting it. Yeah. Well, good for you. I'm glad you know. Hey, Tyler, are you willing to share?
Um, uh, specifically, name something specific.
Like on your table when you were standing there and you were imagining
Oh, okay. Sorry.
legs to
Sorry.
grow?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would say that I would say the mental side of things.
Mhm.
It felt strong, but it felt like I was a little bit nervous to go to that corner.
Oh, good realization there.
Yeah.
Okay. All these things that you do, even coming to this class, is to find out, what do I need to do to move myself into more joy and more happiness? So one of the things we've been talking about in the class that we're doing right now, and you tell me when I have 5 minutes left so I don't overdo.
Can I just ask one thing? So it's a mental leg, a spiritual leg. What were the other two legs?
Emotional,
Emotional,
physical.
physical.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So, gosh, I forgot where I was.
Wow.
remembering,
Where was I going?
remembering.
Oh yeah, the equation we've been studying in our class. Okay. Thank you. Let me say it before anybody else says anything else. Okay. Let me get it out. Okay. So the first thing is you have to remember. Remember who you are. Even remember what you want. Okay. And remembering yourself and getting to know yourself better leads to awakening. And as you have an awakening, you're like, oh, this is why I am the way I am. This is why my mental leg is shorter, or my physical leg is shorter, or why I don't have the connection to God that I want. And once you start to awaken to what's going on for you, you begin to feel enlightenment. Oh, this is what's happening for me, and what can I do about it? And once you reach enlightenment, you that equals peace, because you begin to get peaceful about what you do. And you know, you don't have to achieve everything and every goal right away. You'll feel better if you just get on the path, if you're just on the way to it. And once you have experienced a level of peace, then it's your job to stay away from the people and places and patterns and things that break your peace. And when someone breaks your peace, it's not about them and we're not blaming them. You have to make the change. Otherwise, you'll feel like a victim your whole life. And how do I keep my peace? How do I maintain my peace? And for many of us, we have distortions about that. Some of us avoid. I don't want to have a confrontation. I don't want to, do anything that will rock the boat. But sometimes you have to rock the boat to move forward.
Don't poke the bear.
Oh yeah, don't poke the bear. That's
But
right.
their ears are so fluffy.
Okay, that's not helpful. All right, let's go ahead. And I'd like to hear from Linda. Is she around still?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good. So, sweetheart, today in class, you shared
Yes.
you shared some things that were very personal to you and kind of pulled at our heartstrings, and we were with you. And I would like to hear from you inside of yourself after you do a big step in inner work. Okay. How are you feeling tonight? Are you feeling connected to the group? Do you feel like you were supported?
Oh, absolutely. I felt very connected. I felt very safe. It's, I don't tell my story often,
That's right.
and sometimes I have inappropriate words to say.
As we all.
We all know you, Linda.
Thank you.
Linda?
Yeah, I felt very supported today, and I feel this is a very safe community.
Good. So what did you say to me out in the driveway? Do you
What
remember?
I said, well, we were talking about how we've chosen these paths ourselves in the pre-existence to learn these lessons that we've come down to learn that are very uncomfortable. And I chose not to do my thing today because it feels like a 1,000-pound boulder.
Yeah.
And then as I'm coming out of what I'm thinking about, I'm thinking, okay, so that's a dichotomy. Why do I want to rearrange something that I've chosen to go through?
Good
So
question.
that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, and that's a great question. And I'm so glad you asked me because it's this thing that goes on in our head all the time. If it's really true that I'm not a victim and that everything that I have experienced, I chose it. This is a free will dimension. We have free agency. And if you're a victim and bad things can just happen to you at any moment, that's not free will. So as you learn in the skills for life that you attracted or created every experience so that you could learn and you could grow, there will be death, there will be hurt, there will be all kinds of things that happen to us. The point of realigning that is that you enlighten yourself to the process of life. Many religions call it the plan of salvation. How do you get to the point where you understand that, oh, I'm a free agent. I did choose and I'm accountable for the choices that I make, whether I'm moving forward and doing my inner work or I'm staying stuck in, the feelings of it and feeling like a victim and why do bad things always happen to me and why does everybody mean to me and why does everybody reject me? Those kind of thoughts will not help you heal. They won't help you heal. Taking accountability, and then you can do something about it. You can learn how to live in peace and not get your peace broken or knocked out. In Souls with Stamina, we say, no person, place, thing, or event has the power to knock me out of my joy. And if you can stay in your joy, you're going to have peace. So for me, I do want to realign things once I discover what's up. I have to remember that I'm the divine offspring of a God and that I'm here on purpose. I came down here. I left the light to come into a place that is not perfect so that I could grow and learn. Now, a lot of people think, why would we do that? Some people believe it's because we wanted to become more like our heavenly parents. Okay? And you want to become more like your heavenly parents, you have to progress and grow and learn. But I understand that feeling of it's not fair. I live in it quite a bit. I have to get to where I can take accountability for what I created in my life. I created this. And tonight, with health and healing, you're looking at all of those physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels of yourself. I call them all your 4 bodies, okay? Because you have a physical body, you have an emotional body, you have a mental body, and you have a spiritual body that resides within your physical body. So with those things in mind, I think what happens for wellness, like our song we had earlier said, all we have to do is to know that I'm on the path. You don't have to have it all figured out today, but you will feel a form of relief on all of those levels if you just get on the path. If you just say, okay, I need to eat better. All right, I'm crying every day. I need to find out what's going on in me. Okay, Mentally, I feel depressed. I got to work with that. And spiritually, where am I at? Do I feel like I have support? Once you get on the path, you're going to start feeling better. It doesn't happen all at once, but it will happen. And that's why we study these things. So Alan is going to play the song that Tyler wrote again, because it's kind of lays out that journey for us. And I love having our own songs with lyrics that are awesome. So let's hear that again.
Yes, I love the song.
Oh, you want the same song we played before?
Yes, I want the same song that we played at the beginning, just like I talked to you on the phone about. We'll play it at the beginning and we'll play it at the end. Not that one.
Sorry, technical glitch.
What we
Okay, here we go.
Holy cow, you okay?
It was like, oh, that's cute.
Nature follows laws, firm consistency. Though its expressions often show up as unique, would I ever undo what was meant to be? I wonder by design, whole and complete. The care of my body is upon me, a gift to the world, not bound by anything. Beginning with love, not ending with need. I'll take good care of what is whole and complete. I wanna thrive, not just be alive, and love all the things that make only me. And I'll make the best of what was made, not treat the best as though it needed to change. Regeneration is only part of the feat. Fasting full circle with stem cells in reach. I guide myself on a chosen journey where at any point I am whole and complete. I wanna thrive, not just be alive, and love all the things that make only me. And I'll make the best of what was made, not treat the best as though it needed to change. Whether from God or source or nature's family, I am whole and complete as creation made me. I'm standing up today for my well-being, holding all of my health and healing. Whether from God or source or nature's family, I am whole and complete as creation made me. I'm standing up today for my well-being, holding all of my health and healing. Whether from God or source or nature's family, I am whole and complete as creation made me. I'm taking charge of wellness, beginning with me. Oh,
Beautiful. Thank you, Tyler, for that creation. So
Wow.
the point with health and healing in general is to understand and give yourself a lot of grace. We're not beating ourselves up with enlightened principles. We're just saying, wow, get to know yourself. Physician, heal thyself. Look at you. What's not working, let it go. And you'll figure out what things you need to do to let go of that. That's your journey and you're learning, and no one can do it for you. You have to do it. And taking that accountability for being healthy and well. Health and healing we can't leave it out.
Sorry.
It's really important. So thank you for coming tonight. I know all of us here at the Institute are signing off because we're going to bed. We start again in the morning. And know that if you ask to have the family matrix made, whatever we're realigning, ask for it to shake your family tree, that you can begin to change and grow and listen and learn and be a part of the community that wants to move forward and bring healing. When you do it for yourself, then you'll be able to do it with and for your family, and then your communities, and then our cities and our states and the world. A war anywhere on the planet is a reflection of the war within yourself. And if you've never heard that before or thought about that, we're all a part of what's happening on the planet. We all are. So love yourself. Love's the answer and the solution. And thanks for attending, everyone. And
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
I'm wondering, you said that you recorded these classes and the
Yeah.
classes before that I missed. How do I go